Back and dead.
So my name is Eric Lay, and I will be presenting my feminist critique. First is the definition of feminism. Feminism has, as looking back in history, feminism has gone across three waves. The first wave, according to Georgetown University, was started in the 19th century. It was for women who were of higher class that wanted the same rights as males. They did not get all the rights, such as suffrage, until the year 1920. And the women based what they wanted, their rights, off of the experiences that they had. This went on, of course, until the World War II, when the after World War II, when women's rights started to die down. However, then in the 1950s or 1960s, when the second wave came in, they started looking at unannounced inequalities, meaning that women may have had the same rights as men legally, however, they did not have the same rights in the household and such. They stood up and worked for many, many years to obtain equality within workplace, and such as the same jobs as men, and they still are today. However, in the third waves seemed to happen in the late 80s, which increased what the second wave did. They included race, religion, class, and ethnicity to the second wave, and they actually criticized the second wave for not working on factors such as these. I believe that feminism is where we should promote women in order to get the same rights as males, because women are being underrepresented. However, I do not see myself as a feminist or pro-feminist, and the reason why is, my thought is, when you make a difference between genders, you're actually promoting inequality instead of seeing discrimination as a whole being, not correct. And by discriminating against somebody, you're not giving them the same opportunities. So instead of specifically saying I'm pro-women or pro-men, let's just say stop diversity in general. Now for my critique. I critiqued the magazine Glamour. Glamour is a magazine for women, specifically written for women, that actually, I should say first that there are three components of a feminist critique. The first is that knowledge is male, and it's the thought that because of gender, women are not taught the same information as men. And because of this, it limits their knowledge, and the knowledge is based off of the men's experience, and women's experience does not really play into the part. The next is the contextual nature of scientific inquiry. And because the experiences as men, such as the knowledge as men, women would see things differently than men when they develop something, a product or an idea. And because of that, women's viewpoints may be a little skewed or a little bit different than men's, and give different information. And the third is the difference factor. It has a little bit to do with nature versus nurture. However, it says that that the difference really has to do with biological differences, and because of the biological differences, that is why women and men are different. The first part of Glamour I critiqued had to do with this article where knowledge is male. And this article here is about Oscar Mayer, where they had a purse full of all toys for children that a woman might be carrying, given the stereotypical woman. And they're trying to make a statement that women should stay at home and learn to take better care of her family rather than being in the workplace and try to be things such as engineers or be in the STEM professions. The next part I critiqued had to do with the contextual nature of scientific inquiry.
Go forward. There you go.
There was an article in Glamour about this bra, which is called the U plunge bra, and bras are typically made for support, and the reason this bra is a little bit different is because this part here is a little bit lower, which allows women to wear lower cut shirts. A lot of the shirts now, fashion wise, have a lower cut, and the typical bra has the typical where it comes across connecting. It doesn't allow for these shirts, and this is a example of that because women who have complained about this say that they can't wear certain fashions because of the bra. Well, this is something that a woman, that could allow women to wear it so they can wear different bras. And this is this is an example of like a sports bra where a man would see, it does its job rather than applying the practical use of also looking good. The third type was a difference factor, which of course goes back to the genetics and also the nurture versus nature. And the cover of Glamour says things such as great hair every day, look cuter, slimmer, chicker for less. And then they show, of course, what every woman should look like. And basically because women, according to that, it says that women are predestined because of their genetics to be feminine, that they should act this way. And one of the things they say also is that the genetics show differences between men and women, and that women, because of their genetics, may want to look a certain way or feel a certain way. So this ad kind of shows that, or the magazine cover rather shows that. Glamour also goes on to empower women. And here, they had an article rather that was pretty interesting, where they talked about women spies, and they did have a picture of Austin Powers below it, kind of making a little joke. However, it still was. They had an article or an interview with one of the people in the CIA, and she goes, "No, women can be in the CIA, and she actually was a spy, and that you don't have to be super smart. You have to work hard, and you can get there." And she said that there were actually postings for a job such as hers, the way that she started in the CIA through, actually they said Monster.com, which is pretty interesting. Another advertisement was about Avon, where they had a doctor holding some cream for skin. And it was interesting to see that because a lot of times people think that women can't be doctors or they're not smart enough. And here there is a company saying women can be doctors and that they can become successful, and they make a point of saying that. In this class, I felt that there were 5 very important topics. The topics were gender is still an issue today. We all have implicit biases, the glass ceiling, and women learn differently than men, and the fact that we must change society over time. The first, that gender is still an issue today, can be seen by Maria from Alliant Energy, our guest speaker, and also by Mr. Stevens. They both described the real-world experiences and how they saw gender imbalances in the workplace. Another problem is that we all have implicit biases, and these biases are biases we have that we don't really know that we have. And because of these, it promotes gender inequalities, because we see a woman and some men think right away that, oh, women can't do this job, even though they don't consciously think it. That's still a view that they have, and that's an issue we have with gender discrimination today. We also have the glass ceiling, which is where women can only be promoted so far. And because of that, that can lead into gender discrimination by our implicit biases. You know, when a woman is at a certain position, you don't think that she has the potential to go higher at work or anywhere else because she doesn't have the knowledge. Because of these gender imbalances, we need programs such as STEM, or such as SWE, rather, where women can go, which is the Society of Women Engineers, which is a place that they can go to get mentored or just feel accepted, and they don't feel unaccepted and want to leave professions or career paths such as engineering or science. As I said, we must change society over time. None of these issues that we face today can really be something that we change right away, because when you do that, it's kind of a fake transformation. This is something that needs to be changed over time, and to make sure that it's something that's real. As I said earlier, gender is still an issue today. Gender discrimination hurts women from getting jobs and going to their full potential. It is important to take a look at our gender biases and make sure that we know that they are there. This will help us gain equality. By taking classes such as this one, we realize that we do have an issue with gender. Before taking this class, I really didn't believe gender was that much of an issue. However, seeing it through another person's eyes has shown me that there is problems with gender in the workplace and in our environment in general. And this class will help, by informing people, help everyone by showing that we do have these implicit biases and issues where we have to overcome for everyone to work to their fullest. These are my references.